I don't get nervous about things. And I wouldn't exactly say that the feeling I have right now is being nervous, but it's something. Like it's something. Hello everyone, author DL Tillery here, the Mistress of Horror, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, press that subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos. This is just I don't know what this is. A honest couple days before my Kickstarter launches kind of video. I just trying to document some of it. I haven't like document while making the Kickstarter, though that's all in my head, and I'll be sharing that after the Kickstarter is over. Like, I don't get nervous about things. And I wouldn't exactly say that the feeling I have right now is being nervous, but it's something. Like it's something. It's a lot. It still feels like there's a lot to do, but I've done everything as much as I can. Everything else is like, if it's funded, if it's not funded, then that's when you do more things, you know. So like I had a dilemma today deciding what time was best to launch my Kickstarter. And I have no idea because you press the launch button, obviously. But what's the best time? When are people best available? There is something online that states that they recommend early in the morning or before noon, clearly, but everyone's life is different. And I know some people are be like, well, why does it matter what time? It does if it's to be funded in a certain amount of time. There's no way to know if that would happen. That would be great. If it could be one of those funded in an hour or funded in 25 minutes or funded in the first 10 minutes and things like that, that would be cool. But that's nerve-wracking to even think about, because if it does, then amazing. If it doesn't, then you're like, well, you know. But also it does help the Kickstarter be seen more if it gets funded that quickly, I would imagine. Once it gets funded, period, then it bumps it to like the funded ones, and then though that helps. It does help. But I'm just thinking ahead type of situation. So I was trying to figure out what's the best time again. I don't have the luxury of, where I work from home or I'm a full time author or any sort of thing like that. So, in order to be available for my launch window, technically I would need to launch it in the evening because I work all day and I'm a homeschool mom. So, my time during the day is not free in any shape or form. I'm not even home. I'm not in the home. So doing a morning launch, at best I could possibly do it for 30 minutes. And if, let's say, it had somehow got funded in a short period of time, and you usually, contact your newsletter people, you post and stuff that you've been funded, and then, you want to try grab more attention and things like that. But I wouldn't be able to do that because I'll be out working. So it's a little bit different this is a different perspective. I think would be the perspective from a um, daytime job author a homeschooling mom, daytime job author doing a Kickstarter because I can't be home. I'm not like, I don't work from home. I'm not a stay at home mom or any of those things. So I don't have certain luxuries that would at least give me to be in the home, even if I am busy with in home things. So I have to try to work around, my life. We can't all be full time authors right away. And my career has been around for a little bit, but it hasn't been around that long, or I don't have that many works out. So being full time isn't a thing at the moment. I'm working towards that, but so I have to deal with that. So I'm thinking an evening window, although they don't recommend that, but I have to do what's best for me. Even though my launch party is on the same day, and that's at 6:30 in the evening, and that's live. So that means I could launch. I couldn't launch it at 6 in the evening because my live parties at 6:30. So technically that would possibly be good to do. I don't know. I mean, the reality of it is either way it goes live on Friday. And today is Wednesday that this video is coming out. And I just trying to think of all the things and not trying to forget anything and work with my schedule. So that is another thing I had to deal with. Decisions. Like I've been advertising the Kickstarter for like a couple weeks now. I mean, I talked about it before that, of course, but as far as like, trying to really gain attention for it. And I still pretty much right now have 13 followers on the pre-launch page, which is just the one to remind people that it's to notify them when it launches. 13 people. I'm quite sure more than 13 people know, though. The reality of author numbers makes sense because how numbers work, especially in the author world. I've looked at lots of people who, doing the first book to a series on Kickstarter, or they say, well, usually try to do books that aren't your first book. This isn't my first book per se. It may be my first dark fantasy, or maybe it may be my first long length, or full length, I should say, because I'm not a long-winded writer, a full length novel size book. But that's besides the point. I still have released other books before this one, so there's that. But so technically, it's not my debut novel because they don't recommend that. But you don't have to follow recommendations by any stretch of the word. I don't know. Anyway, these small little things I'm thinking about here and there, just being very transparent about the behind the scenes of an author doing a Kickstarter, the stresses and all the little details that you have to do. And still, like when it's running, and let's say you do get funded, there's still so many things to take care of after you're funded. And something else I wanted to mention to people who are interested in backing the Kickstarter, following the Kickstarter, whatever, sharing the Kickstarter, this is going to be a Kickstarter exclusive novel. So anyone who wants to get this exclusively for a while, for at least a little while before the public gets it, then backing the Kickstarter is the only way. I thought it'd be nice to have an exclusive, more an incentive for people to back the Kickstarter if they have the book before the general public. I thought that's a nice incentive. So technically, it's going to be around 3 months before its pre-order would open. And yeah, I thought that would be cool. So if you're interested in reading Caliostro, Tale Light Burton, then the Kickstarter is the way to go because at least you'll be reading it well before anyone else. Heck, you'll have it finished. before everyone else who's going to get it through Amazon or my Etsy store or Barnes and Noble Press, like Barnes and Noble store. So it's gonna Kickstarter is gonna have exclusive. There's so many cool things with the Kickstarter that you don't otherwise just get. So I hope people take advantage of that and all the work that's put into getting all these cool things for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I love book swag, so I'm one of those people. So, but yeah, the worries and thinking about what should I do with this to do with that. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But I still wanted to be a little transparent about it. And it's happening within a couple days. Just breathe. Just breathe. This book is very a big deal to me. It is because I've been writing it for a long time and it's seen changes. And I put so much blood, sweat, and tears and money behind this book before it even able to launch, with it needs more money. So all the other things that before you even publish it that you have to do as an indie author, I've done those things, but there's still more to do. So anyway, I just wanted to pop in today and let you know what's going on, that the Kickstarter is launching on Friday. You'll find out what time soon enough. Also, look for another character book trailer. I did one for Caliostro himself last week. Yeah, last week. And that's on the channel. And I'm doing the female leads one this week. That should be coming out before the Kickstarter launches. Look for some posts from me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, possibly any of my other socials, maybe Twitter, X, maybe X as well, because I am on all of them. So I try to hit my audiences throughout those, because you never know who would see something and be interested. So yeah, a lot to do, and still doing, still there. And I just released my poetry book not that long ago. It did okay for its launch. I was actually happy with the launch of it in the book sales. But trying to still keep that in the forefront of my mind of publishing, that being published and advertising it. Because if you don't advertise, things don't move like that. So I still have to deal with that, trying to, make sure I have the ads for that, and put those up. Being an indie author is very difficult, but I still love it, but it is a lot sometimes. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying your day, and I will see you in the next video, live, something. And as always, stay scared.